Greetings, everyone around the globe. Welcome to Total Transformation Secrets webinar 26. And we're talking about crushing cravings today. It's Saturday, June 14th. So it's Flag Day. Happy birthday to the Army. Happy birthday to President Trump. Happy birthday to my cousin Leslie. We've got a lot to talk about today, so I'm going to share my screen and we'll go full screen. Okay, so this is our summer schedule. We started last week talking about mindset for the summer and habits. And the month of June, we're talking about mind-body reset and habit mastery. What do you think about the girl with the bottle? I think she's going to be my hero image for the month of June. I don't have a name for her, but shout out to AI image generation and Canva and all the tools. But the little red Corvette is still with us. So today, craving control. I said crushing cravings, and I mean that too. But the hidden link between food habits and brain chemistry. Today, we're going to discover cravings aren't just about willpower. They are about wiring, how your brain is wired and how we trigger those circuits to bing, bing, fire off. We're going to discover the hidden brain chemistry behind your cravings and how we can gently shift it. Why your gut health could be the key to emotional eating and food obsession. Or I have to say food addiction, right? How to retrain your habits and escape the cycle of mood swings and food regret. And how your macronutrients, carbs, fats, and proteins are either fueling your focus or fueling your brain fog. So this is always fascinating to me. Why do we crave what we crave? Do you ever find yourself reaching for something salty or sweet or crunchy and you're not even hungry? You're just craving, right? Now, pregnant women, bottom right corner, are famous for their cravings. Pickle ice cream, pickles and ice cream and whatever. And what we know is that the baby is triggering her and her microbiome to get what it needs. And it doesn't always get she doesn't always get the translation right of what the baby is really driving her to eat. The baby's looking for nutrients. And her brain interprets those signals in different ways, sometimes as pickles and ice cream. But we still get those signals from our gut microbiome. So we need to know what these cravings mean. What do these signals mean? What can we do about them? So we have to know that it's not just discipline or willpower. It's a message from your brain, your gut, your hormones that's begging to be heard. Why do we crave? Cravings aren't random. They are deeply wired responses connected to survival, emotion, sometimes trauma, and your biology. And when I say biology, nutrient deficiency, but we'll get to that later. Cravings are clues, not character flaws. So instead of fighting your cravings, what if we could decode them? What if that chocolate fix, that late night snack, or that salty binge was your body's way of saying, I'm tired, or I'm undernourished, ding ding, or I'm emotionally overwhelmed, I'm traumatized, I'm out of balance. So today we're not just resisting cravings, we're revealing their secrets. So here we go. Secret number one, Dopamine is right in the mix. Dopamine is the molecule of motivation. It drives the anticipation of reward, which helps to reinforce those habits. You remember I shared with you what pharmacist Ben Fuchs said about eating a spoonful of ice cream, even if you're in the most stressed times, if you bring that spoonful of ice cream up to your body, up to your mouth slowly enough, you can feel those troubles just fading away, and you can feel your brain just getting so excited because that ice cream is coming to your mouth. All right, that's your dopamine surge. Processed food and ultra processed. When I say processed food, I mostly mean ultra processed food. Gives you a quick dopamine hit, but long term, it will deplete the supply. And when your dopamine is low, your motivation is low. And you'll procrastinate, and you'll be in this vicious cycle of constant craving. So, what are action steps? Knowing that dopamine is a key. There are nutrients that are famous for their dopamine or dopamine precursor, tyrosine. So, turkey, almonds, eggs. And you're going to hear eggs a lot, right? Because we just know that the eggs are so beneficial. Replace short-term junk food hits with small wins, non-food wins, or good food wins that release dopamine, such as walking in the sun, grounding, moving joyfully. And we've talked about these things before. There's no really secret, right? The secret is us putting what we know about these secrets to work. Now, these things, our screens, our scrolling, our TVs, and our sugar intake overstimulates our dopamine receptors and then desensitizes them. So avoid them, and you're redoing your dopamine receptors good. Secret number 2, another neurotransmitter actor we need to talk about is serotonin. Serotonin and the gut-brain axis. Welcome to the call, those of you coming in new. Here are the key points about serotonin. Serotonin is a neurotransmitter made in the brain, responded to in the brain, but 90% of your serotonin is made in the gut. So that gut-brain connection starts to make sense when you realize how much your gut can affect your brain. So a balanced gut microbiome helps us to have emotional stability and better impulse control, which means making better decisions in our habits. When the gut is not in balance, your bad microbiome or gut bacteria are overtaking the good ones, or specifically for weight loss, you have lean gut bacteria and what's called obesogenic gut bacteria. They're gut bacteria that drive you to eat. So when this is in imbalance, you can see there's a heightened chance of cravings, mood swings, and anxiety. And then when you put external triggers and cues or past traumas on top of that, as some of our friends would say, you're in the popcorn popper. So what can we do? Action steps. We can eat fiber-rich foods, such as onions and garlic and fibrous vegetables. Why? These are called prebiotics. The fibers feed the good gut bacteria. Now, the prebiotics, like we said, feed the probiotics. The probiotics are the good bacteria, the good gut guys. And they like fermented foods like kefir, sauerkraut, yogurt. And those foods, those fermented foods, also have good bacteria that reinforce your good gut bacteria, at least for a little while. Here, oh, remember the challenge from a few weeks ago? Try a gut reset week with no gluten, sugar, or processed foods. Now, the first challenge was no gluten. And I know a lot of you got really good results when you just gave up bread for a week or you gave up gluten for a week. So let's step it up now because we know about sugar and ultra processed foods. Secret number 3. Let's harken back to last week. We are blessed with something called neuroplasticity. Our brains are not fixed. We can rewire our habits from cravings to control. So cravings aren't failures, they're feedback. And what were the Tony Robbins points? Recognize the patterns, use the patterns, and then create new patterns. So this feedback is allowing us to recognize the patterns in our brains that these foods have. And the Atomic Habits summary showed us about the food cues or habit cues, but we're looking at food today, the craving, the response, and the reward loop. And what I loved about putting craving into the mix is we said sometimes you want comfort. You don't want really the potato chips. You want comfort. So we can, when we trigger that, when we're aware of that pattern, we can switch how we get the comfort to something that's really going to help us. So you don't need more willpower. You just need better patterns. So what are some action steps? Identify your cues. Do you eat more when you're stressed or when you're bored? Or do certain times of the day trigger you? And then how can you replace that response with something healthier? A warm tea or iced tea now that summer's coming up. Unsweetened, right? A walk, listening to music, wrapping up in a blanket, baking cookies for a friend, gluten-free cookies. So there's so many things you can do to break that cycle of craving and then the unhelpful response. And then celebrate the reward, track your wins, and reinforce your behavior. Okay, got a bonus secret. So this is turning it the other way around. How carbs, fats, and proteins affect your brain. And knowing these things, you can eat to win. So what do carbs do? They raise serotonin, which gives you comfort, but fast carbs, fast released or high glycemic index carbs spike and crash your mood. So, number one, we can avoid those high carbs, and there are other things we can do to make them have less of this impact. Protein, our hero, provides amino acids for dopamine and serotonin production. So we have to have complete protein profiles. And healthy fats, such as omega-3 fatty acids, support the cell membranes and the communication at the synapses of the brain. So what can we do? Start your meals with protein to stabilize your blood sugar and your mood. I taught my dad, because he used to love apple pie, and he became diabetic when he was 85 years old. And so that was a lifetime of patterns ingrained in him. And I taught him that if you have protein along with a smaller amount of that pie, then your sugar's not going to go crazy. And I don't know if I shared this with him or I think he put it together. Is that why they sell? Is that why they used to serve a slice of cheese with apple pie? And I hadn't thought of it, but that very well could have been some ancient wisdom at play. So protein and produce help to balance the spike. Now, there are some carbs that are better than others, and the glycemic index helps us to choose which carbs are slow carbs or low glycemic, and which carbs we know sugar, but they're also the sugars in many forms. And so I just got the thought I should reshare a glycemic index with you. I'll figure out how to do that because I didn't put it into this presentation. I'll put it in the notes of the YouTube video. Okay. And we can add brain-loving fats, salmon, chia seeds, flax, avocado, ding ding. There's another reason avocado gets a ding ding today. Okay, so a little introduction myself. I'm Dr. Lisa Singletary. I'm known as the 100-pound weight loss specialist, and I empower your transformation from the inside out with the 5 M's of total transformation. Each month we cycle through the 5 M's, and I wore the wrong color shirt today. I meant to wear purple today. So we did mindset last week, macronutrients this week. Next week will be micronutrients and motion because we only have 4 weeks in July, and the last week will be measurement. I promise I'll wear the red shirt for measurement. So I am a physician. I'm a retired family physician. I have a master's degree in public health, and I'm very privileged to have found holistic health and become a certified holistic health coach because I found that this is really what's making the difference. It made a difference in my life, and it helps me make a difference in others. So we had a whole lot of dopamine going on here. I was so blessed by being able to take ballroom dancing classes. And you know what? When the music went on and we started doing these steps, my appetite just was not in the picture. I gained a lot of benefit from having an activity such as walking out in the sunshine, etc., that could replace some of my cravings. Then in 2008, I had to give up ballroom dancing. I gave up my medical practice. I went home to take care of my parents. And 8 years later, I needed my father's wheelchair just to get around the house. I needed a miracle. And this is my disclaimer slide. This is not a medical consultation. I don't identify, diagnose, cure, or heal any medical diseases. What I do is share some wisdom that I picked up and research-backed along the way. And I am sharing my own story, and I did need a miracle. If you see, I tracked my weight through the decades, and it was a very clear picture of cycles of emotions and cravings and just imbalance. But then at letter B, something happened that turned my life around, and it helped me go from the picture on the left to the picture on the right. So bonus secret number 2, I'll share exactly what helped me. And that was nourishing my body, not just feeding my body. I learned how to give my body all of the nutrition it needed, and the cravings stopped. And I put this into a framework, the 5 steps to nutritional completeness. Step 1, avoid the bad foods like gluten, sugar. Step 2, get the 90 essential nutrients. Step 3, antioxidants and anti-inflammatories, adaptogens. Step 4, treat your gut lining and your gut microbiome well. And then step 5, all the other things you can do to help your health and wellness. That's great. But build them on these first 4 steps if you want the maximum impact. So what are those 90 essential nutrients? 60 essential minerals, 16 essential vitamins, 12 essential amino acids, and 2 to 3 essential fatty acids. There's going to be a quiz. No, there's not going to be a quiz this week, although I love my quizzes. But here's a very convenient and delicious way to get the right nutrients in the right dosages at the right time of day to optimize your mornings and recharge your evenings. So today we discovered the secrets. Cravings don't have to control you when you understand what they're really trying to say. We discovered how dopamine drives our desire and how to boost it naturally. We discovered why a happy gut boosts our emotions, balances our mood, and helps us to avoid self-sabotage. We discovered some simple ways to rewire your reward loop to work for you, not against you. Understand the cues, the actual cravings, and then figure out, okay, what's the best way to respond to that craving to get the right reward. And we looked at carbs, fats, and protein to learn the best way to eat to win, to balance our brains. So what was your big takeaway? Put it in the chat. What's one change you make to help get control or crush your cravings? I would love to see it. But wait, there's more. I got another bonus secret for you. Now, this is because the foundation of this whole discussion has been our neurotransmitters and a form of addiction. And I learned about this. I used to teach my nursing students and medical students using this program, I guess you'd call it. And it was called the Mouse Party. And it was dealing with addiction to different substances and what those substances did to the brain. And if you look, each mouse is addicted to a different substance. The mouse on the couch is addicted to heroin. The mouse, you can see the mouse in the middle smoking his joint. The mouse on the bottom, I didn't know what that one was right away, but his hand is like going in front of him. His hand is like looking funny, and that one is LSD. So anyway, it was a very interesting way to learn. Oh, here's a clearer picture of the mice. You can see the alcoholic mouse, just different things, different substances that they're addicted to. And what I have for you is this sheet. So it's a work. You don't have to do this, but it helps you if you really want to understand the neurotransmitters and what the different drugs do to your neurotransmitters. Then I'm making this available to you because it also gives you a link directly to and it's a game that you move go back. You move the hand, you drag the mouse to the chair, and you can see what each different substance does to the brain. So here we go. You want to scan this QR code, and you will get the Mouse Party worksheet as an immediate. I think it takes you right to the website. You don't have to put in your email or anything. Just grab it and then print out the sheet, but click the link and play the game if you want to know more about your neurotransmitters. Now, you might want to say, I just want to get that nutrition and get my body turned around. So here's a QR code you can scan to go to the Health Hub, and you start your health journey there with a quiz. It's called the Health Evaluation Survey. It gives you your own personalized health score, and then more information galore on that site, including the greatest health lecture of all time. And also, that starts your road to connect with me. Now, maybe you want to connect with me without going to the Health Hub, or you want to see more from me, then hello, go to drlisasingletary.online/hello, and you'll see links to my social medias, my YouTube, and a special project I'm working on. And there's a link to the Health Hub inside that page as well. Alrighty, so it's summer, and we've got a lot of exciting topics coming up. Like I said, this month is Mind Body Reset and Habit Mastery. July will be all about nutrition and anti-inflammatory strategies. August is about rhythm and recovery, and we'll be getting ready for the fall. Hey, stick with us. And stick with us tonight because we're going to have the premiere of this video on YouTube tonight, and I'll be live in the comments, and I would love it if you're with me for the watch party. So we're showing the secrets, and hi, I'm Dr. Lisa. I'm privileged to be here with you, and that is a wrap on webinar 26. I can't believe it. So I'll see you at the watch party tonight. Thank you for those of you who are here with me live, and have a fabulous Flag Day. Love you all. Mwah.